It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Yeah, number 2 is don't skip due diligence. It's there and it exists for a reason. This is one of the things that makes financial advisors that live in our world get super, super squeamish. When we hear people are buying homes, buying incredibly expensive pieces of property, and they're saying, I'm going to waive the appraisal. Even though the bank only says it's worth this much, I'm willing to pay more than that. Or they waive the inspection. They say, hey, I don't need someone to check and tell me that the roof is good or the HVAC is good or the major systems are good. I'm going to buy it without an inspection. I think if you're doing that, you could likely be setting yourself up for a huge nightmare down the road.
Yeah, there's when I'm on Instagram or TikTok, I mean, one of my favorite content things to follow is home inspectors that go into, because there's this whole craze of flippers right now, people buying and selling, and these home inspectors will go in and they'll show like the shower pan that's not truly watertight, or they'll show where termite damage has been like covered up. And if you are not doing some form of due diligence, and we'll even there's forms of this you can do even in this crazy market that we're in right now that I'll let Bo share with you, but you're really setting yourself up to take somebody's headache off of their plate, free and clear, in an easy way. And that's just not what you're looking for, because what a home inspection is going to do is they're going to look at that roof, they're going to look at the structural, they're going to look at the HVAC, they're going to look to make sure there's not some type of drastic thing that is going to create a money pit headache that you'll rue the day that you made this decision because you just didn't do your homework.
Yeah, an appraisal as well as the inspection are normally supposed to be these things that benefit the buyer. It's the thing to keep the buyer safe. Well, when you begin waiving that, you're waiving some protection. When you waive the appraisal, you're basically saying, what I used to use as a negotiating tactic, if a house or a property came in below the appraisal, I could then renegotiate the price. Well, in this market, sellers are saying, tough, I'll find someone else who will pay this price. You got to come up with a difference. That should immediately make your spidey senses go off. When you waive an inspection, what you're actually doing is you're waiving your oftentimes last line of defense to protect you from getting into a horrible place. Because normally, when you have an inspection, something comes back and they say, oh, there's an issue with the roof or there's an issue with HVAC. And you take that to the seller and say, hey, I'd like for you to either fix this, let's negotiate the price so that I can fix this. When you waive the inspection altogether, you're basically saying, I am willing to personally bear the risk of whatever types of things might exist with this house. If you were younger, I'm going to say born before 1990, I would encourage you to go watch this Tom Hanks movie called The Money Pit. If you've never seen it, you should go see it, because that is what you're signing up for.
You're not going to go see it. You're going to download and stream this. It's not at any theater at this point.
Content team, have y'all seen The Money Pit? Have y'all you got to go watch this movie, because that is the exact reason why inspections exist, so you don't end up getting into a house that, instead of being the house of your dreams, it's going to be the house of your nightmares because of all the things that are wrong and all the things you have to start fixing with it.
Okay, Boomer Bo. I want to know, because you just gave the guidance to go download and stream and watch The Money Pit with Tom Hanks. What I want to know is, these are unique times, and I think that there's a lot of people who go watch this content and go, okay, I get it. With a normal inspection, you have the home inspector come in. They're always going to find something. And it's at that point that you either renegotiate how much the seller is going to either fix those things or give you a discount for you to fix them, but you both agree, hey, this is where we are with the renegotiation. That stuff's out the window right now. Is there another step? Because we're telling everybody, don't just say no negotiations on due diligence, on inspections. What can you do in this hot real estate market to still protect yourself?
What you can do as a buyer is you can ask for what's called a pass-fail inspection at a minimum. Essentially what you do is you are going into this agreement saying, hey, I want to have an inspector look at this house, and I'm either going to buy it as is, no matter what the inspector comes back with, or I'm going to walk away. There's not going to be any negotiation between me and the seller. So I'd like to buy this. I want the inspector to say, okay, yeah, roof is going to need some repairs and HVAC has an issue, And that's okay, and we're aware of it. And I, as the buyer, can still make the choice to buy the house, or it's going to cause me, if it fails the inspection, to just completely walk away. And I think a reasonable request for this is 7 days. So you just tell the seller, hey, I'm going to buy this house. I am interested in this house, and all I want to do is get a pass-fail inspection to make sure there's not something crazy going on. I'm not going to ask for more money. I'm not going to ask for more time. I just want to make sure that I get someone to sign off on that. Most sellers in this market will be accommodative to that, to say, okay, you can have your person come in here just so you know what you're getting into.
And now there's a big distinction here that I want to make sure. There's 7 business days and then there's 7 calendar days.
That's right.
When we were researching this, 7 business days is a reasonable thing to ask for, because that gives you actually even a little more time. And time is money. That's why you want to look. The seller's not going to want to give you a ton of time, but 7 business days is probably not going to throw off the due diligence, or and still the seller will allow the buyer to have this pass fail on this inspection. And that's an important part.